Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another book video. Today's video is going to be about this, my Kindle. I'm going to be telling you my Kindle Unlimited series recommendations. I cannot say enough good things about a Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. If you're like on the fence, get a Kindle. I was always in the mindset of like, I really want physical books. I love physical books. You know, I like having the physical copies, whatever, but honestly I love this so much more and I prefer reading on this. And usually what I do is if it's on Kindle Unlimited, I read it on this, and then depending on the price of a book, I'll then buy it in physical form, usually a paperback. I do not like hardbacks. If it's like the price difference is maybe a couple of pounds more, like if it's £4 on Kindle but it's £6 paperback, then I'll buy the paperback because I like having paperbacks if I can. But also there's so many good series on Kindle Unlimited and standalones, but I'm going to be talking about a series in this. But if you want a video of standalones or just the best books on Kindle Unlimited, let me know, because most of the books I read are Kindle Unlimited, so I feel like I've got a pretty good track record. I'm sure I've read like 150 books on Kindle Unlimited or something crazy like that, because I was looking in the Kindle Unlimited folder on my Goodreads, and if you want my Goodreads, it's linked in the description of all my videos. Also, I've just got a Fable. I'll try and link it if I can. I don't know how you link it. I'll work it out and I'll link it. It's kind of the same stuff that's on my Goodreads, but I know that some people have moved over to Fable, so there you go. Enough self promo, let's get into the video. I have got how many series? 12 series, that's quite a nice number, and these are mainly romance. There's a couple of mystery thrillers, but mostly they're romance ones. I'm going to get into fantasy books this year. I said that in so many videos, but I've not started reading fantasy yet. I've got a few fantasy physical ones. Like I've got ACOTAR, I've got Fourth Wing and Powerless, I've got Bride, so I'm going to do paperback ones first and then see Kindle Limited series, because I know, what's it called, Zodiac Academy, that is on Kindle Limited, so I do want to read that. But anyway, I'm getting off track. Let's talk. Okay, so the first one, this is actually 3 series. I counted it in one point, but all of Elsie Silver's books. If you haven't read an Elsie Silver book, I don't know what you're doing. They are so good. I love them. So her series, the Gold Rush Ranch series, the Chestnut Springs series, and the Rose Hill series, these are all cowboy romances. They're all dual POV. They're all so good. So the Gold Rush Ranch series, that is a mouthful, why can't I say it? Gold Rush Ranch series is her first series. This is set on the Gold Rush Ranch, and they're not like connected by family, and apart from 2 other books, but they're all in this little ranch or surrounding ranches, and there's lots of different tropes for each of them, and you can read them as standalones. Most of these books, honestly, you can read as standalones, so especially Elsie Silver ones, very much so, like if you just want to read a certain trope. But I recommend all of them. I've never given one of these books below a 4 stars. They are so good. They are some of my favorite books that I read in 2024, and I've now read all of her books, and I can't wait for more books by her because she's incredible. The Gold Rush Ranch series, I feel like this is her least popular one. I read it after I read the other 2. Technically, you should read it first if you know you want to read them all, but also like there's not really spoilers, but they're kind of connected. They're in the same universe, because then the Chestnut Springs series, this is about the Eaton family. Violet, who is in the Gold Rush Ranch series, isn't Eaton. She's the only Eaton daughter, so she's in that one. And then the Chestnut Springs series is about the Eaton boys. Again, all cowboys working on farms or just in that field, I guess. Like one's a bull rider, one runs the farm, and then also there's like cousins and sisters. It's not just Eton boys, but they're all involved. I love them so much. Like they're such like a cute community. Oh my god, my favorite one's the 3rd one with Jasper and, oh my god, what is she called? I'm so bad at knowing character names. It's Jasper and something, and I think I saw people say that this is their least favorite. I'm always going to be here for a childhood friends to lovers, always. Sloane, of course. So this one is my favorite, but they're all so good. And like, yeah, you can read them as standalones if you don't want to read them all, but I do recommend reading them all. And then the Rose Hill series, these are all single dad ones. Also the second one in Chestnut Springs is single dad. Like look for the tropes if you prefer like certain ones, if you don't want to read them all, but I do, like I said, recommend all of them. Rose Hill is single dad. There's currently 2 ones, so this is an ongoing series. The other 2 are finished. I assume then after Rose Hill, after we've had probably like 4 or 5 books, that we're going to go on to a new series. I don't know, because I only started reading them this year. I'm not really in like the Elsie Silver gossip universe to know if she said anything about that, but there is a map at the start of the books, and it has like the little places, like it has the locations of each of the 3 series. So and there was more than those, I think, so I assume they're going to keep branching off. probably, but don't hold me to that. Next is Magnolia Parks series. This was such an anticipated read for me. Everyone talks about it and I was like, fine, whatever, fine. It was so good. I prefer the Daisy Hates books to the Magnolia Parks ones, but you got to read the Magnolia Parks ones to understand it. But they are, everyone describes it as Gossip Girl set in London. It's kind of, they're being followed by the press, they're in the newspaper. So rather than in Gossip Girl, obviously it's like the website Gossip Girl that they're in the paper, you know, like the Daily Mail probably. I assume it was the Daily Mail. I think they mentioned it. I have such bad memories of these things. The last Magnolia Parks book is pretty emotional. I cried a lot. The Daisy Hates books are so good as well. So the Magnolia Parks ones, these are more like socialite, kind of going to parties, getting drunk, kissing people. If you don't like cheating, love triangles, that type of thing, it's quite toxic. So if you really don't like that, but obviously like no one likes that type of thing, but if you really can't stand to read it, maybe don't. But I didn't mind it. Unpopular opinion, I hate BJ. I don't know if that's unpopular actually. I've seen quite a lot of people who love him. I'm teen, what's he called, Julian. I love Julian so much. And then Daisy Hates, so she's Julian's brother and she's kind of connected in this world and they're more like how do you say, criminals, kind of, what would you call it, illegal, whatever. So good, gangs, but like not in a bad way. So good. And the fact that they are on Kindle Limited, I was like, oh my god, this is my sign. Because yeah, they're quite character driven. There is obviously plot, but they're very character driven, so if you don't like that, maybe don't. Because most of the time I've seen people not like it is because they don't like character driven books, but I quite enjoyed it. It was honestly like kind of a slow read for me, but I did really enjoy it and they were all over 4 stars. Daisy Hates books are superior, and I believe that we've got 2 more Daisy Hates books coming. We finished the Magnolia Parks ones because we got 3 Magnolia Parks and 2 Daisy Hates right now, so it goes like Magnolia, Daisy, Magnolia, Daisy, Magnolia, and we've got, I believe, 2 more Daisy ones left because we finished the Magnolia universe. That's all kind of winded up, so yeah, so good. Next is the Windy City series. These are set in Chicago because that's the Windy City, isn't it? I don't know, I'm not American, I don't know the little terms. I know New York's the Big Apple, that's kind of as far as my knowledge goes. But the Windy City series, these are interconnected standalones as well. So Magnolia Parks, you have to kind of read it in order. I mean, you could probably just read Magnolia books or just read Daisy books, but you can't read like the 5th book in the series just because you like the sound of it. Like, you have to have read the other ones for it to make sense, I personally think. But the Windy City series, like all of Elsie's Silver Swans, are interconnected standalones. So if you just like the sound of one, I've seen quite a lot of people don't read the first one, Mile High, because they don't like the sound of it. I enjoyed it. The Right Move's my favourite one. That's the second one. And the last one that's coming up, what's it called? Rewind It Back. I'm so excited. Oh my god. But they're all sports romances, but not the same sports romance, which I enjoy because, I don't know, like, you know when you're reading a series that's just hockey romances, it gets to the point where it's like, I'm sick of hearing about hockey. So yeah, although there were some, the 2 most recent ones are about baseball. I have like no knowledge of baseball. I couldn't even try and piece things together. Some of the things they were saying, I was like, what? Like, obviously you don't need to know, but sometimes when they talk about the game, I'm like, what are you talking about? But the first one is hockey. 99% sure it's hockey, and then Rewind It Back's also going to be about hockey because Rio's on the same team, and then the Right Move is about basketball. I don't know, I feel like you should read all of them, but you don't have to. The Right Move's the best one. It's like forced proximity, they have to live together, and they're all like a big friend group. It's all very much found family, and it's just incredible. I love it. I read that series and Chestnut Springs and Rose Hill back to back, and it was just the best time ever. I literally did not put this Kindle down. It was with me the whole time. Okay, next is Off Campus by Elle Kennedy. I don't know whether the second book isn't on Kindle Unlimited. I don't know. I read Off Campus so long ago when I didn't have a Kindle. It's literally here. And I just thought, because I read The Legacy, which is on Kindle Unlimited, which is the 5th one, because when I read the Off Campus series, The Legacy hadn't come out yet, so I read that like recently. I've got a video where I reread it. I'll make sure it's in the corner. It's this corner, I think, if you want to watch it. But yeah, I looked on Amazon and it showed that all of them, apart from the second book, what's the second one called? The Mistake, were on Kindle Unlimited. I don't know if that was just mine being funny, but this is a hockey romance series. It's so good. It's at a university, Briar University, and yeah, it follows a hockey team. So good. These were the first like hockey romance books that I read, and if you've never read hockey romance books before, or any sports romance, I really recommend them. I love a sports romance just because like there's a bit more going on, you know. I feel like I know about hockey now because I had no idea about any hockey, but it educated me. I'm sure if I went to watch a game I'd be like, what's going on? But in my head when I'm reading I'm like, yeah, of course I know exactly what's going on. But they're just so good. They're so easy, quick reads. They'll make you happy, they'll make you sad, they'll make you cry. I don't actually know if they'll make you cry. Actually no, oh my god, I just remembered something which I'd forgotten until I reread it. Oh my god, well that was horrible. I think that's the third book. Sad. Okay. Then Vancouver Storm series, and this is by Stephanie Archer. These are hockey romances. I believe there's only 2 out right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've only read the first 2. I don't think the next one's out, but maybe it is. I'll write on the screen if it is. But these again are just hockey romances. Can you tell that I love a good sports romance? I don't know, they're such like fun, easy reads, especially when you read like Magnolia Parks, which is a bit, especially the last one's a bit deeper, a bit more emotional. Just going back into a hockey romance is a bit easier. Yeah, again, can be read as standalones, but if you want to read the series, when I can, do like to read a series. So then we'll kind of switch things up a little bit. The Housemade series by Frida McFadden. I am such a big Frida girl. I again did a video only reading Frida books for a week. I'll link it if you want to watch that. Obviously no pressure. I don't know, I feel like if you haven't read a psychological thriller, you should. I didn't know the genre was called psychological thriller, but when I then hear that term I'm like, that sounds awful, but I love them. On the edge of my seat. I'm sure it's not the most not even well crafted. I'm sure there are a lot better books out there, but they're quick, easy reads. I really enjoy them. The Housemade series, the first 2 books is where the main character is actually working as a housemaid, and the third one's where it's just about like her life in her own house. The first 2 are definitely better, but read all of them, I'd say. And there's also a novella about their wedding. I wouldn't recommend that. Like 3 solid ones are all above 4 stars, so yeah, I really recommend them. If you haven't read psychological thriller, make sure you do. I'd say like give it a try, because you never know, you might really enjoy it. Next is the Coastal University series. There are 3 books out right now. I don't know if there's more coming, but I've read the first 2, so that's why I don't know, because I don't know like if it was kind of wrapped up at the end of the third one. Really good though. I gave the first one 4 stars, the second one 3 stars, but I think it was like 3.5, but I marked it as 3 on Goodreads. But it was still good and enjoyable. They are sports romances. They are Coastal University, so they're set at the beach, so it's kind of summer vibes. Yeah, they're just like a good sports romance set, like I said, on the beach. So it's just, I don't know, it's so enjoyable and just a light-hearted, easy, fun read. Next is Beyond the Play. This, I've only read the first 2, but I believe it's an ongoing series. I'm just going to check so that I'm not lying to you, but I believe it's ongoing. At least there's more books than I've read. Yeah, 2 more books that I've not read yet, so I need to read those. But they again are sports romances, and a bit like the Windy City series, they're not the same sport. So the first one is football and the second one is hockey, and they're just such like a good sports romance that you just need. The first one's fake dating, false proximity, which like that's gonna do it every single time for me. A fake dating, false proximity alongside a sports romance. Like sign me up and you're gonna get 4 stars. Okay, switching it up again. This is the Holiday Cozy Mystery. No, this series is called Holiday Cozy Mystery. What an odd series name. It's by Tonya Capps. I read all of them end of last year, start of this year, which is why I'm so ahead of my reading goal. They are pretty short books. They're like 150-ish, just over 150. They are mysteries. They're set in this small town called Holiday Junction, and this town celebrates holidays like crazy. So each book is set at a certain holiday, so like the 4th of July, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, St. Patrick's Day. There's so many different ones. Mother's Day. I think we've got a Father's Day. That's the next one coming. And they're quick, easy reads. They're mysteries. It's kind of, you know, they find a body, and the journalist Violet, she's the main character, she works out who solved it. They are all 3.5 stars, but like they're such easy fun reads, so I do recommend them. And this author has so many books. They're called cozy mysteries, which I'm pretty sure is just, from what I understand, a cozy mysteries where it's like not gory really, you know, like you hear saying she was stabbed, but it's not like, oh blah, 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 and this is exactly blah, blah. Like it's not gory, and I'm pretty squeamish. Like the thought of that type of stuff grosses me out. I can get through these books and I'm not cringing with like disgust and feeling sick. So if that tells you anything, they're a cozy mystery, if that means anything to you. But yeah, I do really recommend them, and I do want to read the rest of her books. I mean, I say the rest of her books, she has so many, they could probably like last me a whole year. Maybe not, because I read them really quickly. I was reading like one a day, but they're good and I would recommend them. This doesn't sound like I'm being very positive about them, but it's just like kind of picture Gilmore Girls, but if there's a murder literally every single holiday they celebrate, but this town like has loads of tourists, and it's just like I want to go to this town, I want to see what it looks like. It sounds like so much fun. Obviously I'm not going on a holiday though, because there's always a stupid murder. And my only complaint is that there was some plot inconsistencies, and the author, it got to the point where I'd read and she'd say like at one point in one of the books the murder weapon was inside the person still, and then 2 chapters later she said to the detective, let me know if you like find the murder weapon. It's like, queen, you found it two chapters ago, like you mentioned it in the book. So there was some like plot inconsistencies where I was like, you just said that. But apart from that, yeah, and there's some grammar issues. I feel like she just needs a good editor and then they'd be such good books. But not to be negative, that bound, oh, I'm so sorry. Next is UCMH. This is the series that Icebreaker is in. I think I've only read the first one. Maybe I haven't, maybe I read the second one. I just want to check, because I know that Daydream is so popular. Everyone talks about Daydream. Yeah, I've only read the first one. Oh my god. But Icebreaker, I feel like this was spoken about quite a lot. They're kind of spicy books, but this is a hockey romance. And honestly, like if I go in knowing that it's going to be spicy, like I don't care. But I've read a few small town romances recently which have been so spicy. It's like, well, you set it up as like a cozy sweet little story and then you're doing that, then I'm not going to enjoy it. But like in a book like Off Campus, any sports romance, honestly, I'm expecting it. Icebreaker obviously kind of blew up, but they are on Kindle Unlimited. Then the Mind series, these are very dark romances. They're very short. There's 5 books in the series. I believe it's 5. I read it like 2 years ago, but yeah, dark romances, and they are so short that they're basically like one book, but they are 5, but they're about 150 pages each. They were good, they were addictive. I would definitely recommend them, just as quick, easy. I was going to say fun, they're not fun, but like they're kind of enjoyable and interesting. And if you've never read a dark romance book before, then I kind of recommend reading it and starting with it, because I don't know, I feel like it will be good to get you into it. It's, oh my god, is he like a detective or FBI, or he's something with an investigator and then she is a murderer, if that tells you anything. And then the last series is the Better Than the Movies series. I say series, obviously there's 2 books. I've read Better Than the Movies. I've not read Nothing Like the Movies yet. I feel like I need to reread Better Than the Movies before I read Nothing Like the Movies, but they are on Kindle Unlimited, so don't be buying it. Read it on Kindle Unlimited. And these are just cute YA romance. Oh, just so good, just so like sweet and innocent. And I've heard Nothing Like the Movies is pretty realistic, and it's not like not the happiest book, but I don't think it's like sad, but it's more realistic, if that makes sense. I've not read it, so I can't give my opinion on it, but I do really recommend Better Than the Movies. I read it a while ago, but I feel like I'm still gonna enjoy it when I reread it. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was useful. I hope that if you have a Kindle and you're looking into Kindle Unlimited, then you get it. Yeah, I love Kindle Unlimited, and also like you can often get free trials and get really good discounts for you to just try it out. Also, you don't need to have a Kindle. You can get the Kindle app on a phone or an iPad and get Kindle Unlimited there, so you don't even need to invest in a Kindle. It's just, in the long run, it's a lot more affordable to have Kindle Unlimited, even just to invest in a Kindle. Like, this is perfect. And just for traveling, it's so much more efficient. And for reading in bed, you don't need a big light, you don't need a big bulky book. Like, this is just perfect. I love it so much. It's my favorite thing ever. I don't even know if I said this already, but comment down below any book videos that you want to see in the future. Also any like normal videos, but book videos specifically, if there's any tropes that you want me to do. So far, trope wise, I've only done small town romances, so let me know which of the tropes. Also, if there are any reading vlogs you want me to do, I am going to do a 24-hour reading challenge. I just needed like the perfect time to do it. I think I'm going to do it like Emmy does it. I I'll write her name like on the screen. If you don't watch her videos, what are you doing? I don't know. She's great, but she does it over 2 days, so she does around 12 hours both times. So she starts the 24-hour timer, then pauses it when she goes to bed, and then resumes it. I feel like that's the smartest way to do it, because I want to actually enjoy the books. I want to kind of remember them, and I feel like if I'm up at like 4 a.m. reading, I'm not gonna remember it. So just having 2 dedicated days, but it's just hard to pick. Although I guess I don't even have to, like, I could do it, they don't have to be back-to-back days. Do not know what I was saying, but what other reading vlogs you want me to do, let me know. I'm about to start filming one where I read my highest and lowest rated books on my TBR, on my physical TBR. So literally, like, as I finish this book, I'm gonna start it and start the first book. So that'll probably be up after this video, I imagine, because I can start editing this video straight away. So stay tuned for that. But if there's any other reading vlogs, if there's any like series, I am gonna vlog like me reading ACOTAR, Boys of Torment, how do you say that, Boys of Torment or Boys of Tarman, because all the Americans say like Boys of Tom, I don't know, I only ever hear Americans pronounce it. So yeah, let me know any videos you want to see. Like I said, Goodreads is linked below. I will link my fable right now, Editing Amelia. If you haven't already, do it right now. Yeah, all of the social medias are also linked down below. If you have any questions, comment them. I love you. Goodbye.